Yo, I went on a wild win streak with this build, getting MVP almost every single time too. I was definitely pissing off so many people, so I want to spread the joy and share my madness with y'all today. Introducing the Frosted Magic Samurai. This build is all about having the most powerful sorceries possible while still retaining a strong defense. A diverse set of spells doing way more damage than your enemy is expecting them to. I mean, to be honest, I'm usually a straight scrubber dub at using sorceries, but with this build, I do on almost everyone. So as you can see here, I made my build under a level 150 using the prisoner class. So this gives you some wiggle room for your own stat preferences and your own class. The prisoner is definitely the best class to use for this build though. But the important things that you need to focus on are having 60 vigor for sure, around 25 endurance to wear some heavy armor, and at least 75 to 80 intelligence for max damage. First off, the staff we'll be using is the Carrion Regal Scepter. It has the best overall sorcery scaling, behind Lusat's Glintstone Staff, of course. Now, I know we could just dual wield 2 Carrion Glintstone Staves for the super boost in damage for sword spells, but that's for only those specific spells. That strategy limits you. Meanwhile, my build here will allow us to combo together whatever spells we want, whatever is best to fight in the Colosseum. Glintstone Comet, Collapsing Stars, Adula's Moonblade, the Magic Cannon Bomb. Freely casting diverse spells like these together creates some badass combinations. For example, the Collapsing Stars spell combos together with Adula's Moonblade perfectly in PvP. Collapsing Stars to bring him in, and the Frost Sword spell to finish the job, freezing off those dingleberries. I really recommend using Adula's Moonblade spell. Because of this, I'm wearing my fancy snow hat. This gives a 10% attack boost to all cold spells. We need a strong defense, so I got the Tree Sentinel set. Not only is it thick boy, but it also looks pretty good for a magic build as well. Being able to do so much damage with your long range spells, but also having the defense on lock and the close combat to back it up is the perfect recipe. Big dick energy all the way. Now I knew my melee weapon would be important, so I tested out a lot of different weapons. But in the end, I chose the Cold Infused Uchigatana with Spinning Slash. I love Spinning Slash because anytime someone invades your personal space, boom, slam L2, spam that L2 button. And then the Cold Infusion will pair up nicely with our build. Combined with the other Frosty Cold spells that we'll use, we can inflict that Frost debuff. And then the enemy will be vulnerable to 20% more damage from everything and have lower stamina. But the thing is, we will be using a couple of magic type buffs in this build. So if you just want the highest attack power possible and not worried about inflicting frost, then go magic infused on your katana instead. Because magic infused will give you the highest attack power. Right now I got 665, and that's before any buffs. Now see, here while standing in Terra Magica with our magic type damage buff, I got this Uchigatana all the way up to over 900 AR. That's pretty dang beefy. So, for our talismans, Graven Mass Talisman, 8% buff to sorceries. Secondly, Radagon Icon Talisman. Now, I was testing out the Azure Staff, which gives 40 VDex, but that comes with a minus 20% FP cost for all your spells, and I just didn't think it was worth it. So instead, I'm throwing on the Radagon Icon. The increased cast speed definitely helps. Thirdly, we got the Godfrey Icon, because the majority of the spells we're using today are able to charge up. So now, my fully charged Glintstone Comet Shard, the fully charged Collapsing Stars, all that will be even more devastating now with the Godfrey Icon. And finally, we got the Great Jar Talisman, because this will allow us to wear heavy armor without needing a super high endurance level. Then of course, in your Physick mixed drink you want increased magic damage. This is a necessity, and then either used increased damage reduction or the famous Crimson Bubble tier. This thing has saved my life many times. Inside the arena, I'll also be using Terra Magica for even more magic attack power. I mean, it's surprisingly simple to effectively use and benefit from. It's very quick to cast off, and then you just chill inside the circle, shoot off spells, and slice them up nice when they come charging at you. And meanwhile, you're getting a huge 35% increase in your magic damage. Some other spells you can use on this build are Star Shower. Yep, that's it. Just spam that L1 button using Star Shower. That's all you need, bro. Like, and to those who say spamming Star Shower is cheese, well, I say, get good, brother. Get good. Yeah, you know, that's it. Alright, I'm done. Video's over. Nah, I'm joking. To be honest, I actually recommend you do not spam this spell. Please, bro. Don't do it. Here are a bunch of other options that I use on this build. Magic Glint Blade, Swift Glintstone Shard, Glintstone Comet Shard, Ice Crag, the Comet of Haima, whatever it is, Collapsing Stars into Adula's Moonblade, into Carrion Slicer, Zamor Ice Storm or Gravel of Haima, and even Loretta's Great Bow for a far-ranged attack. But after playing with this build for many hours, this is the final order of spells that I felt like performed the best. Now I have the Ice Crag first because I use it as my kinda close-up spam type spell. It gets buffed by my big ol' snow lady hat and it goes well with the build. But to sum it all up, these are the necessities for this build. 75 to 80 intelligence, Regal Carrion Scepter or Azura's Glintstone Staff, the Graven Mask Talisman to buff sorceries, the Godfrey Icon Talisman, the magic attack damage increase in your wondrous physics drink, a heavy armor set, and a lighter weapon that does magic damage. So now, let me prove to y'all how strong this build is and that I haven't just been flapping up a storm here. So let's jump into the arena and I can give y'all some combat tips. Now, if you are a fan of the Lusat staff, you can totally use it here. It makes one hit of Carrion Slicer do like 500 damage when using Lusats. As long as you have a good mind level for a decent FP pool, you can use it, because it will make you deadly with any spell you use. In PvP, just 1 or 200 damage can make the difference in getting a kill or not, so every bit of damage counts. If you're interested in Lusat staff, I say try it out. Just know it does 50% extra FP cost. Also for this build, it's best if you have a Carrion Glintstone staff in your right hand to switch to. Now this staff will buff your sword spells like Adula's Moonblade and Carrion Slicer. Now you're still going to want to cast off your spells using L1, using your Regal Scepter, but this way you can swap out the Katana for the Glintstone staff and use Carrion Slicer to charge down an enemy. This build really shines in the 4 or 6 man modes, where you can capitalize on all the chaos and have many different targets. Dropping bombs on people, hitting them with the Collapsing Stars gravity spell. Your specialty is ranged attacks. And that's why you got Spinning Slash for up close combat. Now if you don't like Spinning Slash, you can use Glintstone Pebble or Glint Blade Phalanx as an Ash of War instead. They fit this build pretty well also. What some may not know about Adula's Moonblade is that it can hit twice up close. The main sword and then the frosty projectile. That's why this spell is fit for medium ranged and up close. Just look at this. While standing in Terra Magica, connecting the full Adula's Moonblade, it's a literal one-shot kill. Now the last thing I got for you is, if you really want to be toxic and just show no mercy, the Zamor Ice Storm is actually very good for spawn trapping people in the arena. Yep, it's tragic. Now alright, have fun brother bears, I'll talk to you later.